Good evening, this is Eswatini TV News at 8, read to you by myself, Natile Sitole, alongside Zamanzi Manze. First up, let's have a look at our top stories. The Minister of Commerce has relaunched the Small-Scale Enterprise Loan Guarantee Scheme. Eswatini has received a shelter worth 150,000 emalangeni that will be used by trafficking victims. A Motsa family residing at Gakhoza has been blessed with triplets. And now the news in detail. Small and medium enterprises will no longer have to worry about providing collateral whenever they seek loans in financial institutions. This follows the relaunch of the Small-Scale Enterprise Loan Guarantee Scheme, which was relaunched by the Minister of Commerce, Khumalo, at the Hilton Garden Inn in Babane.
Previously, small and medium enterprises had scarcity in accessing funds in most financial institutions in the country. Due to that, they were required to have collateral for their businesses. That will now be a thing of the past following the relaunch of the Small-Scale Enterprise Loan Guarantee Scheme for SMEs. Speaking during the relaunch of the scheme, the Minister of Finance, Neil Rickenback, asked that relevant stakeholders should ensure to address the market failure as well as women and the youth who are still excluded and ensure that agriculture does look appealing to the youth of Eswatini.
Access to financial inclusion, and it's time that we ensure impact and welfare of the users of the financial services and products. Our focus is now on enhancing the quality of financial services and products to change the lives of ordinary Emaswati. It is important for government to provide a vehicle that will significantly increase access to financial products and services.
The Minister of Agriculture, Chabulan Mabuza, says he hopes that the majority of the beneficiaries from the fund will come from the agriculture sector.
The agriculture sector is very much aligned to the industrialization strategy being pursued by the country, and we are willing to go an extra mile to ensure availability of locally produced raw materials to feed the processing plants, while also creating diverse livelihood opportunities for the country's citizens. It is often said that agriculture is the backbone of the country's economy.
Relaunching the scheme, the Minister of Commerce, Khumalo, asked that the SMEs must ensure to develop a culture of repaying their loans.
Access to finance, particularly credit, is widely recognized as problematic for MSMEs, hampering their growth and development. To address this challenge, many governments around the world intervene in the credit markets through such guarantee schemes.
Representing the Central Bank of Eswatini Governor was the Deputy Governor Felicia Dlamini, who said they tried relaunching the scheme back in 2019, but COVID-19 delayed them. And she also requested government to consider how to recapitalize the scheme. For Eswatini TV News, I am Kian MCB at the Hilton Inn in Babane.
The Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, says the protected Gashawula wetland will boost the tourism sector. The minister says about 150,000 emalangeni was used in the wetland protection project.
On Friday at Kashola area, the Minister of Tourism and Environment, Moses Vilagati, toured the Eswatini Environment Funded Wetland Project. The minister says the Mangwenya Pen is among the few series of wetland sites occurring along the plateau with a bedrock formation which ensures that they provide vital water resource for the community.
In this regard, I've been briefed that this pen we're about today is a vital habitat for some of the birds of national and international importance. This site is located along the north-south migration route for birds which fly from as far afield as Europe and North Africa to Simangaliso wetlands in South Africa, our neighboring South Africa and St. Lucia. It is for this reason that the site also provides a unique ecotourism opportunity for bird watchers and researchers. As such, this is a site that is expected to bring visitors to this area to provide employment opportunities for all.
Shaula Chiefdom Acting Chief Bernard Funza says they have high hopes that this wetland will develop the area.
Ngumphakathi siyakwetusalo siyethemba ukuthi na letinye tindzawo bekunene titawuthola lo msebenzi lesiwendile thina njengoba nje nisidumisile ukuthi sibe kuqala vela kusuke manga bekunene kuqalela.
Sfunza also urged members of the community to protect the wetland along with its fences and solar system. Reporting, I am Tembelihle Makuchwa with Temba Shabangwe at Sheula.
The Prime Minister's office has received a shelter for victims of trafficking from the United Nations in collaboration with the United States government and the International Organization for Immigration. Speaking during the handover ceremony, Principal Secretary in the Prime Minister's office, Lindiwe Mbingo, said the shelter will go a long way in ensuring that the country protects trafficking victims.
On Friday, the United Nations, in collaboration with the government of the United States and the International Organization for Migration, IOM, handed over a shelter for victims of trafficking in Eswatini to the Prime Minister's office. Receiving keys for the shelter, Principal Secretary in the Prime Minister's office, Lindiwe Mbingo, said the existing government structure was not suitable for victims of people trafficking.
This was a worthwhile experience. Hence, today, we witnessed the handover of a project of this magnitude, which is valued at approximately $40,000 US. The shelter being received by government today is an existing government structure, which was, however, dilapidated and not suitable for victims of people trafficking.
United Nations Eswatini resident coordinator Natal Ndongo says women and girls are usually more at risk of being trafficked.
Women and girls are often targeted by human traffickers for purposes of sexual exploitation, whilst trade in human organs is a crime that should simply not exist.
United States Ambassador to Eswatini Jean Maloney says this structure will boost the country's initiatives of protecting trafficking victims.
When speaking of trafficking, we often refer to the 3 P's, or pillars. Those are prevention, protection, and prosecution. In practice, however, I want to emphasize the pillar of protection of victims as one of paramount concern.
IOM Regional Director for Southern Africa, Charles Kwamini, says commitment to combat the trafficking in persons will help countries achieve some of their sustainable development goals.
Adoption of the 2030 Agenda, that is the Sustainable Development Goals, renewed the commitment to combat the trafficking in persons. And that reminds me of Target 8.7 of the SDGs, which calls for an end to all forms of forced labor, human trafficking, modern-day slavery, and child labor.
The Prime Minister's office recently started a community sensitization program in all the country's 4 regions. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samgil Swekoza with Fuminko Sinsinisa Babane.
The Director of Health, Dr. Vusi Makakula, says despite the challenges brought by the COVID-19 pandemic, the country has made great strides in maternal and newborn care. The Director was speaking during the commemoration of the World Patient Safety Day, celebrated under the theme Safe Maternal and Newborn Care.
World Patient Safety Day is observed every year on the 17th of September by member states under the World Health Organization. On Friday, Eswatini joined other member states to celebrate this day at the blood bank in Mbabane under the Safe Maternal and Newborn Care theme. Speaking during the commemoration, the Director of Health, Dr. Vusi Makakula, said Eswatini has made recognizable strides in safe maternal and newborn care despite the challenges brought by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Ministry of Health has made significant strides and of great success in maternal newborn care in the country amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Here is the evidence. The antenatal care coverage stands at 97%. I wish it to be 100%. Skilled birth attendance stands at 88%. Institutional delivery stands at 88% also. And all HIV HIV success story, the high ART coverage, the PMTCT, and the low MTCT rates.
WHO country representative for Eswatini, Dr. Cornelia Arce, says to combat the hesitancy brought by the COVID-19 pandemic, health systems must work towards building community trust.
The COVID-19 surge, sadly, saw a worrying decline in delivery in skilled birth attendance in Eswatini. To combat this hesitancy in seeking health care, health systems need to work on building community trust and investing in good infection prevention and control practices.
Speaking on behalf of healthcare workers, Peggy Mamba said proper communication is key to patient care.
Our patients must trust us in terms of the procedures that we undertake, that we perform. Our patients must trust us even in the manner in which we communicate to them. Because how we communicate to them can determine whether they will seek care or it will drive them away from seeking care.
The Director of Health then, Lita Kangley, emphasizing the country's commitment to maternal and newborn care. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Suekoza with Fuminko Sinsinisa Babanem.
A Mota family of Sikolini area, Gakoza, in the Manzini region, got a rare blessing from the Almighty God when they gave birth to triplets last week, which are 2 girls and a boy. The children were born before time, and our reporter Kianim Sibi has more.
It is not every day when we hear of triplets being born, especially in Eswatini. The Mosa family of Gakoza area got a rare blessing when a 28-year-old mother gave birth to triplets last week at the RFM hospital in Manzini. The children, Zanenhle, Zanoguhle and Zamoguhle Mosa, were born on the 9th last week, meaning they are premature children because they were expected on the 10th next month. The young couple pleads for assistance of any kind, following that Mbuso Mot, the father of the 3, is currently unemployed and is hustling to no luck for now. He says they were advised that the children they should feed on baby formula because their mother cannot produce enough milk on her own.
We are lacking a source of income. We don't have an income nje kahle kulendlu ngiko lokungazuthi sibuka kwangazuthi lesibusiso kusibusiso sona kuba sibusiso but nje kunala ama challenges ukuthi sitabane bolukhuni ekubakhulisene nekuthi bakhona ukuthola lokudliwako ngekuthi ke ngoba makwakhe vele akakhona kubamunyisa udelbise ba nabodokotela ba recommend ukuthi akathathe abasibafidesi banike isikoti lubisi lesikotela luyabita ke titolo lolobisi, so kungaba infokoto kakhulu ukuthi lo nako maybe angasiveta sponsors vifaneni ukuthi mhlambe bakhone netimpahla ke tekugcoka kushintsha isizini ngesizini bantwana. Whatever that I'm trying to do nami ngicabanga ukuthi mhlambe labakhuluma ko bayasho ukuthi uyabamba lapha but nje kude mbambamba kuyenteka ngiphumela endlini ngiphinze ngibuye ngingakaphathi lutho.
He says their major plea is that of employment so that he can support his family because they need his support and ensure that his children do not starve. Bendele Bennett, their mother, says she feels fine for now. Her challenge would be financial help because she did not get any maternity leave money, as meaning she will need money while taking care of her young ones.
M17 njengoba ngisayinile nje ngasayinele maternity kude kuphelele khona lapho uyahamba akufanani nakuletinye indzawo ikakhulu emafemini thina la sebenza khona emafemini lazama kuphanda khona kuthi khona angekufana nekuthi ngiyahola nje lokungikhona ngilandlini kuleto dinyangana leto letinsashwana lesukuniketwe toni vele lesimo sangala etimalini siyadzingeka kakhulu ngilapha esiveni la ngicela khona ngosami ukuthi bangasita khona kakhulu vele.
She says while taking care of her young ones, she would have to spend quality time with them until they are fully grown, where even at home they still rely on her for income, which is impossible at this time. Whoever is willing to assist this family with anything can contact them on 7625 9036 or 7637 9742, or relatively contact the Eswatini TV newsroom on 2411 9600. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian Msibi Kakoza.
In 3 weeks, the Ministry of Health has reached about 182 clusters under the Zero Prevalence Survey. The Eswatini TV News team on Friday joined the team when conducting the survey at Makolokolo in Babane.
Last month, the Ministry of Health commenced a zero-prevalence survey to determine the country's complete COVID-19 status. The ministry says the current COVID-19 statistics are those of Eswatini who have visited healthcare centers, yet there are those who get infected by the virus and have their system fight it off without visiting any healthcare centers. The whole region survey coordinator Nompumelelo Mamba says when they get to the households, with the permission of the residents, they draw blood samples and nasal swab tests.
The ministry is doing this survey because we want to determine the COVID situation within the communities of Eswatini. It has since been discovered that the numbers that we release daily only account for those that come to hospitals, and yet there are people who are infected with COVID in the communities, but they are never recorded in the daily statistics that we have. So as a ministry, we are now going to the different communities of Eswatini in the 4 regions to capture those people that have been infected by the COVID and then recovered. When we get to a homestead, we take 2 samples. It's a DBS where we take samples of blood, and then we take an NPS, we take swabs in the nostrils, and then we are trying to detect antibodies which are against the COVID-19 virus.
In a period of 3 weeks since the country started the survey, the ministry has visited 182 clusters across the country's 4 regions, and the target is reaching 297 clusters. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Suyokoza with Fuminko Sinsinisa Babane.
And now let's have a look at our financial markets.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Good evening once again. You are still watching Eswatini TV. Let's have a look at our sports news. Head coach of Zambian outfit Red Arrows Football Club, Oswald Mutapa, says that their second leg tie against Young Buffaloes this coming Saturday at Mavuso Sports Center will be tough. Mutapa says Buffalo's performance in the first leg played in Zambia last week proved that indeed they are a tough opponent. Mutapa was speaking during the team's training session at Mavuso.
Zambian CAF Confederations Cup envoys Red Arrows got a chance to train at the Mavuso Sports Center, the venue they will use when playing Young Buffaloes in the second leg of the CAF Confederations Cup. Team coach Oswald Mutapa says the Buffaloes are indeed a tough opponent, judged in the first round performance.
I think what we know is after we played them, I think the first 20 minutes they would definitely come on us, but that will allow them to leave spaces behind, and like I said, we're a team that will be able to score, and if they do that, I think they will be leaving dangerously because we know we're able to create chances. So we just have to take our chances, which we will definitely create because our side is very creative. And only the 90 minutes will tell.
Benedict Chepeshi, who is the team captain, says they have worked on a few mistakes that they had in the first leg.
The first half from Zambia was quite difficult for us, maybe even for them, because we went in the game not knowing how our positions play. But at least now we have a glimpse of how they play.
Red Arrows simply need to play a goalless draw and they will proceed to the next stage. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabisum Sonera, Babane.
Young Buffaloes head coach Sabelo Mnisi says the away goal that they scored in the 2-1 first leg defeat of their CAF Confederations Cup in Zambia when playing against Red Arrows will be crucial heading for the second leg. Mnisi says all they need is one more goal on home soil and they are through to the next round. Mnisi was speaking to Eswatini TV Sports in Manzini.
In preparations for their second leg against Red Arrows from Zambia in the CAF Confederations Cup, Young Buffaloes head coach Sabelo Mnisi says the away goal in their 2-1 defeat to Arrows will be crucial in their second leg.
I think, as you know, we have lost in Zambia. We need a goal so that we can be comfortable and we won't panic if we can get a goal. Everything will go smoothly. Once we get an early goal, everything will be perfect. Yeah, we are still minus with those players who are injured. Yeah, but with the players we have, they are ready to lift the name of Young Buffaloes high. Yeah, coming back, we have scored away, and that was an important goal for us. We will build on it to going forward.
Captain Shasha Gwebu says the team has the experience of playing the international matches. Gwebu adds on that the motivation amongst the players is quite impressive ahead of the game.
So it puts us to the advantage. So I think tomorrow, 1-0 or 1-0. So I think that's what the players wanted to do tomorrow. So that's why I'm saying we motivated because we scored away. So tomorrow it will be simple for us to just to wrap up the game and come up with a positive result.
The game will be played on Saturday at the Mafso Sports Center in Manzini from 3 p.m. local time. Buffaloes will just require a 1-0 result to proceed to the next stage. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabisum Sonera, Manzini.
That's all for now. Before we conclude, let's have a look at our top stories. The Minister of Commerce has relaunched the Small-Scale Enterprise Loan Guarantee Scheme. Eswatini has received a shelter worth 150,000 emalangeni that will be used by trafficking victims. A Motsa family residing at Gakoza has been blessed with triplets. And with that, we sum up our bulletin for the evening. Up next is the weather update from myself and the team here at Eswatini TV. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.
And your rewards card, please. You've won!
It's the Spar Rewards Grand Cash Giveaway, where you can win instant cash to spend on what you want the most. Plus, get amazing savings, like Clover Tropica. Buy any two for just 53 emalangeni, or 2 kg Sunlight hand washing powder for only 42.99. Win your share of thousands in cash instantly with the Spar Rewards Grand Cash Giveaway. Only at Spar.